Alrighty. So today we are gonna talk about the conscious diet for seasonal transition and a healthy diet as per Ayurveda. A couple of things I would like to request everybody. Please. Alrighty. So today we are gonna talk about the conscious diet for seasonal transition and a healthy diet as per Ayurveda. A couple of things I would like to request everybody. Please. Alrighty. So, am I audible? Okay. Alrighty. So my name is Vaidya Meenakshi Gupta. I'm a Ayurveda practitioner, master's in Ayurveda, and I'm a Ayurveda doctor, certified in nutrition science and child nutrition as well, and I'm a detox specialist. And also, I'm a founder of Ayurroots Ayurveda Wellness Center in Dallas area. So this is a little bit of disclaimer. The information including but not limited to text, graphics, images, or any material contained in this presentation is for educational and information purpose only. And this presentation is not intended to make any claim regarding any treatment or any other medical condition. And it is not intended to be substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And it is always good to seek your Ayurveda physician or your primary care physician before you implement any new healthcare regimen. So, our goal today is to develop a deeper awareness and thus a deeper connection with your own body through the Ayurveda. So, Ayurveda, when we talk about it, is made up of two words, Ayu and Veda, and it is the whole science which encompasses your mind, body, and spirit. So, little bit of background about Ayurveda. If you are not aware about this science, so Ayurveda is a part of Vedic system of knowledge. So two words, Ayu and Veda. Ayu means life, Veda means the science. So this is actually more than 5,000-year-old science. Origin is in India, and it provides tools, indispensable tools to cultivate a balanced health through the mind-body approach. So, when we talk about Ayurveda theory of life, it encompasses not only your physical body. In Ayurveda, we see that healthy person or the life is encompassed of physical body, your five senses, your mental health, as well as your conscious element. When you all together, then only we can say that the life is there. And Ayurveda is based upon five elemental theories. And those five elements are space, air, ether, fire, and water. And in Ayurveda, we believe that everything is, in the physical world, is composed of five elements. And those are considered as a building blocks, and those are known as Mahabhutas. Maha means a bigger. Bhutas means the elements. So these are the known as a Mahabhutas. And all aspect of universe, if we see that, made up of different combination of these elements, five elements. And these five elements, when combined together, it leads to three doshas. So the whole Ayurveda theory is based upon the three doshas, or you can call it as a tri doshas, which is made up of from all the five elements. Five elements, as I said, those are the ether, air, fire, water, earth. So air and ether combined together give rise to vata. Vata you can compare with the motional energy. Wherever there is a movement, that is considered as a because of the vata element, vata force. Now combine together fire and water, that is a pitta. Wherever the transformation is happening, the metabolism is happening, or in the body where the chemical activity is happening, that is because of the fire and water, and that is known as a pitta dosha. And then the third one is water and earth, which is combined together give rise to kapha dosha. And that kapha dosha is your wherever we need the adhesive force, lubrication, or the flow of the liquid in a thick quantity, like your cerebrospinal fluid, your salivation, even the synovial cavity contains the fluid to lubricate the joint. So all those things are related to the kapha dosha. So these are the biological, we say that the fundamental principles of Ayurveda. Why it is important to know Vat Pitta Kapha? If you are not aware about Ayurveda, you might be thinking that why we need to know. Because as I said, in Ayurveda, we believe that all the five elements are present everywhere. Even the food you are eating, that also has the five elements, and your physical body and even mind has those characters of the five elements. So that's why it is very very important to know a little bit about the vat pit kapha, so that you can determine what your body type is and how you should make a conscious choice when it comes to the eating. Because as I said that those five elements are also present in the food also. So the three doshas or the tridoshas are the three energies which governs all the function in the body. And these five bhutas or the five elements give rise to three doshas. So vata, as I said, combination of air and ether. This is the energy of action, transportation, and movement. As I said earlier, also, wherever there is a movement happening in your body, that is because of the Vat dosha. And for example, blinking of eyes. Right now, I'm talking, walking, and my hands movements. Everything is related to the Vat dosha. And the properties of Vat dosha is it is dry in nature because it is a combination of air and ether. So air is dry in nature, rough in nature, light also, and the coldness is also there. And it is subtle. We cannot see the air, right? So, and always mobile. Movement is the main character of the Vata dosha. Now comes to the Pitta dosha, which is fire and water. So that is, as I said, the energy of transformation, conversion, digestion, and metabolism. And the properties of pitta is oily in nature, little bit sharpness is also there. And it is hot in nature because of the fire element, it is little hot in nature. And because fire is light, right, goes upward movement. So the pitta is also light in nature. And it is also moving in nature. And liquid, and because of the fire, it has a little bit of acidic smell also. Now comes to the kapha dosha, which is a combination of water and earth, which is, as I said, the energy of lubrication, construction, nourishment. Wherever we need the nourishment and the lubrication, there comes the kapha dosha. And the properties of kapha, being it is a composed of two elements, water and earth, it is little heavy in nature, moist in nature, and also there is little dullness in there. It is soft, sticky, and static. So those are the little bit of properties of Vat with Kapha. Now, if we see that Prakriti in Ayurveda, we say that It is a genetically determined relative proportion of doshas within the normal range. So this is the definition to make you understand. So the prakriti is combination of all the doshas in a certain proportion in the body. So when the mom conceived, the fetus is having a certain type of body type. And that body type depends upon both the parents' diet, lifestyle, stress factor, and that give rise to the Vat, Pitta, Kapha, or the combination of the body type. So in Ayurveda, we say that there are three doshas, but when it comes to the body type, there are seven types of body types. So how the seven types, like Vat individual, Pitta individual, Kapha individual, and then the combination Vat, Pitta, Kapha, and Vat, Kapha, and then all the threes are present, Vat, Pitta, Kapha. So when it is a combined, then all the three are always present, but one takes the primary seat. So it's like a family where you are going for an outing and only one person can drive the car. So that is your dominant doshas in the body. So that is known as your prakriti or your body type. So in Ayurveda, seven types of body types, we say that. And this Prakriti is physical is seven type and mental is three types of gunas. We say that two gunas, sorry, one guna and two doshas are also present. Now, physical constitution, it depends upon, as I said earlier also, it depends upon the relative predominance of the three doshas, depending upon our lifestyle, our diet, and when a person conceived. So, based upon that, the fetus is going to have certain dominance of dosha. But that dosha never changes. That is your prakriti, means your genetic composition, or you can say your body type. But vikruti means which is imbalanced, can happen in the later stage when the child is born, when we grow, depending upon our dietary habits, lifestyle, as well as our stress factor. Everything plays a role to create the imbalance. So, a little bit about what dosha means dominant personality trait. If you see, the person might be thin, lean, and thin. They might be walking very fast, talking very fast. Their mind is always racing. They cannot focus more. So, because one thought comes and then the another thought also comes. So, the Vata people, mostly, if we see that, they have difficulty in completing any task because, first of all, their mind is always working and they cannot focus on certain things. And Vata people also are more prone to having a digestive issues also. Sometimes they might feel hungry, sometimes it is like they don't feel hungry at all. So it's kind of like imbalanced if the Vata is not in the balanced state. And also, when you see the Vata people, if it is not in the balanced state, they are more prone to anxiety disorders also, as the mind is always thinking. In anxiety also, it is related to the overthinking. And where the Vata resides in the body. So it's very simple to remember that. So wherever you see the hollow spaces, like in your nostrils, also in your ears, hollow organs, and the bones, there resides the Vat dosha. Now comes the Pitta, which is responsible for digestion and metabolism. Right? So, personality trait, if we see that the Pitta person, the moment you see their face or their complexion is very bright. And if they step outside in the sun, then you will see that the redness also. They cannot tolerate heat too much. They don't like the heat. They prefer the cold weather over the hot weather. And most of the Pitta people, if we see that, they love to have a spicy food. They cannot tolerate hunger. If they get hungry, they need the food right away. Otherwise, they get really upset. And the Pitta people also, they love to indulge in a fashion or in a the things which are sometimes can create a imbalance also. Now the Kapha people, as you see in the picture also, Kapha people, mostly they have broad shoulders, broad hips also. They talk very slow, they walk very slow, and they love to sweet. They love to sleep and they love eating sweet also. And Kapha people in Ayurveda, we always say that they are little bit of lazy in nature. It is very easier for the Kapha people to gain the weight, but it is very difficult for them to lose the weight also. And the Kapha people are the one which actually tend to get more depressed also because of the heaviness properties or the stagnant properties of the Kapha dosha also. So if it is not in the balanced state, or if the person is having a cough imbalance and keep on indulging in the food which is rich in fat or rich in protein and also like milk products, then they tend to get more into the imbalanced state. So when we talk about ahar means the food in Ayurveda, so ahar means the food is anything which you take inside your body to nourish your body and mind. So it's not only the eating part, the food which you eat. It also includes water which you drink, even the breath which we inhale, emotions, how your body and mind process those emotions, and information through the sense organs. So when we talk about the food, food is whatever your body has to process or has to undergo the transformation, that in Ayurveda we call it as a food. And dietetics is one of the major component of uh, Ayurveda science. In Ayurveda, we say that there are three, those Vat, Pitta, Kapha are the three pillars of life. But when it comes to the sub pillars who support the three pillars, those are Ahar, Nidra, Brahmacharya. Ahar means your diet, sub pillars. Then comes the importance of the sleep. And then comes the how well you use your senses. These are the three sub pillars of life. And out of that also, food is the best medicine. So, and that food contains the food which we eat, the water which we drink, breath, inhalation, exhalation, emotions, how your mind process those emotions, and information through all the senses. Now, these days, if you see how many of you actually find yourself eating in a certain position where this picture is showing, like while driving or reading the paper or doing work on the computer. Uh, Many people these days, in today's world, because our lifestyle has become so hectic, so busy, we just run on the schedule. And that leads to this kind of eating. And in Ayurveda, we say that eat with Tanmaya. Tanmaya means your focus should be there. When there is no connection between your hands, your mouth, your stomach, and brain, that creates the imbalance. And that's how we mess up our physical health, mental health, by disrupting the digestive system. And that's why Ayurveda teaches us mindful eating, which is a conscious eating. Ask yourself one question, and I would love to see the response after this presentation. I'm asking you, all of you, within 2 seconds, can you remember that what you had eaten in the morning? What was your breakfast? If not, that means that meal was not mindful. And many times it happens that we are busy in doing certain works, and we are busy with the kids or the family, and we don't pay attention to what we had eaten. So that is when you know what you has eaten, and when you are paying full attention to your food, that is considered as a conscious eating. So think about that. Do you find yourself eating when you are not hungry, or eating but not remembering it that you had eaten? Or after you had your lunch or dinner or breakfast, you don't feel satisfied. After eating full meal also, after few minutes or half an hour, you want to grab something else. And that is considered as a emotional eating. So there is a difference between true hunger and there is a difference between emotional hunger. And when your digestion and elimination is not in the balanced state, again that happens because when we are eating mindlessly, and when we cannot differentiate between what is a true hunger and what is a emotional hunger. Now true hunger is if I'm eating the meal and I'm feeling full satisfied, and for a few hours I don't feel like to eat anything. When I'm paying attention to my body, my senses are very sharp after eating the food. I'm not going for another snack. And in opposite, when you see that the emotional hunger, no matter how much you eat, you always go for a grabbing a snack because that is your emotional food and that fulfill your emotional need, right? So that is where we have to differentiate between what is the true hunger and what is the emotional hunger. So Ayurveda actually teaches us how to eat mindfully to create the balance. First of all, we need to differentiate between that if we are eating mindfully or mindless, or if we are eating even the mindfully, was the mind was totally full with the other things by thinking more things, or it was true mindful. So mindful eating actually, if we say that, changes everything. Why we need to have the conscious eating? If you see that we make over 200 food decisions every day, right? What spice needs to add, what vegetables or what kind of protein you want to add, what is the carbohydrates, and how much serving you need to make for your whole family or the friends or for yourself. So all those decisions when we make mindfully, then only it will lead to the mindful eating. Food is a great pleasure in life, not something we should compromise. That we all know that, right? But we need to shift our surroundings to work with our lifestyle, not against it. So if there is a set time period for the lunch or dinner, so is it more important to paying attention to the food rather than taking that call, which is also important? But we can always have a choice to pick what is more important at that time. And if you have to take the call at that time, or if you have to work also, set aside some time for that and then start your meal. So that, and when you start your meal, it is always good to have full attention towards that meal. As I said, when there is a no connection between your hands, mouth, and your brain and your stomach, that food never gets digested properly because that link is missing. And the best diet, if we say that, there are a lot of fad diets. The best diet, if we say that, that is the mindful diet, which Ayurveda actually teaches us. As I said, either your mind is full or mindful. So, mindful means you are eating but thinking something, and there are thousand thoughts running through your mind. That is not considered as a mindful. Mindfulness is moment to moment, non judgmental awareness cultivated by paying attention to your physical body, your mental well being, season also, and the time of the day. So, here I would like to emphasize that Ayurveda dietetics is totally little bit different from the nutrition part, Western nutrition part, because here we see the body first, then comes the season, and then comes the time of the day also. I'll explain in upcoming slides regarding that also. So here goes the difference between conventional and Ayurvedic nutrition. In conventional nutrition, if we see that why we eat, because that is a personal preference, we have to eat, or it is body image also, emotion also, as I said, emotional eating also, or sometimes it is a habitual eating also. But in Ayurvedic nutrition, if we say that, to take in prana to live, prana means positive energy. So the food which I described, that food is not only the which is on your plate, even the water, the emotions, and the breath you take, everything is composed of that food part. So everything gives us some positive energy. So that is the difference between conventional nutrition as well as Ayurvedic nutrition. In the nutrition element, if you see that in conventional, we count the calories. Okay, how much calories I need. But we forget to see that okay, if I needed 12,000 calories a day, but will my body will be able to process those calories? Is my digestive system is so strong to process those much calories? Or I need little bit to evaluate how my digestive capacity is, how my elimination is happening, and if I am able to process that food properly. So in Ayurveda nutrition, as I said, we walk through Panch Mahabhut, which is the five elements. And everything, even the food, is made up of five elements, and our body is made up of five elements. So, focus counting calories from the different food groups. And as I said, if those calories are suitable for me, but will my body process that those kind of food which I eat? So that is the main focus of Ayurvedic nutrition. Importance is calorie value, and there is an individual constitution, that you focus on your healthy body and see how your body is processing that food. And if we see in conventional nutrition, balance, how we create the balance by balancing food ingredients. Okay, you have my plate as a nutrition, and you need to have a less protein, less carbs, more veggies and fruits, and less grains also. But in Ayurveda nutrition, that is balancing the diet according to your constitution. So, in earlier slide, who have joined now, later you can watch the recording if you want to. Uh, there we discussed about the constitution, the different body types according to Ayurveda. So the diet is also balanced according to the Prakriti, which is your constitution. And dietary recommendation, if we see that, it depends upon the food group in conventional nutrition, right? Carbs, and then you should be having the uh, protein part, and then the veggies and fruits. But in Ayurvedic nutrition, it depends upon the taste or the rasa of the food. And we will discuss about the taste also. So, basic, if we see that in overall, conventional nutrition teaches us you are what you eat. But in Ayurveda nutrition, it is you are what you digest, how much food your body can process on day-to-day basis, and how it is providing nourishment to your body. In Ayurveda, we say that the definition of health, that's in Sanskrit, it's a samdosha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriya, prasanna atma indriya manai, swastha iti abhidhiyate. Means when your physical body is healthy, when all the physiological process are happening at the correct time, what you are eating should provide nourishment to your body. Elimination also needs to happen. If there is no elimination, urination, fecal matter needs to go out of the body. And your five senses should be having a clear cut sharpness, and your soul should be happy. That is the only time when you consider yourself as a healthy person. And that comes only when you are being mindful in eating what you need to eat. So, consideration of Ayurvedic dietetics, its nature of the consuming means your body type, seasonal consideration, taste of the food, and then we need to see that the certain doshic status of that food articles also. For example, if I am a pitta person, pitta, combination of fire and water. So, if I'm a pitta person and I indulge in the food which is a pitta provoking, like the spicy food or contains habanero pepper or jalapeno pepper. So those are gonna disrupt my digestion, gonna lead to the pitta imbalance. So that's how it tells us or it teaches us that according to the body and then according to the food property also we should incorporate that food in our diet, and then the method of preparation also. And there are certain combination of food articles also in Ayurveda where we say that combine this food with this, it's really good. But there are certain things which we say that in Ayurveda do not combine with each other. For example, many of you might be taking a honey tea. Hot honey tea means in the water, warm water, or you might be adding the honey. A lot of people they do that, but in Ayurveda we say that do not add honey when any food or the liquid is hot, or do not ever cook with the honey, because honey itself is a heat producing, and when you add into the hot liquid, it creates more heatness in the body and creates the digestive issues. Similar way, the emotional aspect is also there, because when your mind is not connected with that food, or if you're upset, that also leads to the disruption of your gut health. Um, Nowadays, if we see that in conventional medicine also, there is a lot of research going on how your gut health or gut microbiome is related to your mental health also. So it is like a feeding vice versa. So if mental health is not good, it can lead to the poor digestion or poor gut health. And if the gut health is not good, it can lead to the poor mental health. Environmental considerations also, like eat the food which is locally grown, because that is going to be along with your nature, along with your season, that is in the season, and that feeds the good bacteria in the colon. And then according to time, here time means the season as well as the daytime also, and the quantity also. So we will discuss everything one by one. So a little bit idea about six taste. In Ayurveda, we say that the taste is which you experience the sensation through the tongue. And taste is the sense, tongue is the sense organ. And as soon as any food comes in contact with the tongue, the taste is perceived. So I won't go into the detail regarding that, because if you don't know about Ayurveda, so it will be a little boring for you. So taste is mostly it is six type of: sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, and bitter. And if you see that, as I said, everything is composed of five elements. So sweet is also combination of earth and water. And here's example of sweet. You can see the whole grains. It's not a pastries or the cakes or the cupcakes. Here, sweet means which has sweetness in the nature. So that is a whole grains. Sour, we all know that the lemon is considered as a sour, tamarind is considered as a sour, salty, the sea salt, all type of salts are considered as a salty. And then comes the pungent, pungent like a ginger. Ginger is very pungent. Astringent, astringent. In that, we say that betel is betel leaves. Those are also astringent. Bitter. Now, the bitter, if you see that, which leaves the bitterness in the mouth, but the health benefits of bitter taste is enormous. It helps with the diabetes also. And the bitter is, if we see that, the example of bitter gourd is also there. That is also bitter. Fenugreek, very beautiful spice, that is also considered as a bitter in nature. So in Ayurveda, when we talk about the mindful eating, it is live in tune with the nature. Follow the rules of nature according to your body type and observe. And then one should make the food choices. And for that, Ayurveda has given us indispensable tools in the form of Dincharya and Ritucharya. So Dincharya means daily routine, and there is a seasonal routine also. So here I have incorporated certain pictures. It will be easier to remember. Now you will get a little bit about idea about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So this is a doshi clock where you can see the time period. So when certain time period, during the certain time period, the dosha gets dominant in that time period. So Vata is 2 to 6 a.m. and p.m. That is the main time period for Vata, where the mind becomes really alert. So if somebody has have difficulty in sleeping during that time period, so that means the Vata is into the imbalanced state. Now, the Pitta time period, 10 to 2, and it is the same time period during the lunch time, during the morning time and the night time. So, digestion gets really strong during that time period, especially at the noon. If we see that, in Ayurveda, we recommend that you should be having a main meal during the noon time period. The reason is because lunch is the time period when the sun goes at peak. As the sun goes at peak, your digestion goes at peak. And if you are eating a rich meal during that time period, then the body has the ability to process that food. And the kapha time is 6 to 10. So morning as well as evening time. And kapha is responsible, being heavy, responsible for bringing the heaviness to your physical body, your mind also, and sleep also. So kapha time is when your digestion also slows down. So that's why in Ayurveda we say that eat like a king during lunch and eat like a beggar during the dinner time. The reason is because during the dinner time, once the sun sets down, your digestion slows down. And that is the time period when your body cannot process the heavy meal. So that's why we in Ayurveda we always say that eat less or eat lighter to easier to digest food during the evening time. And main meal should be pitta time. But now goes towards the 10 p.m. So ideal time for the sleep in Ayurveda we say that is a before 10. And if you are up past 10 p.m., you might be finding yourself looking for the snacks because that is the pitta time, which where you start feeling hungry also in the nighttime period. So this is kind of like a daily clock as per the doshas in Ayurveda. Then there is a seasonal clock also. So in Ayurveda, there has been described actually 6 seasons, but that is applicable only for certain part of globe. But here in United States, there are 3 seasons we consider: summertime, which is Pitta season; fall and winter, which is again Vata season; late winter and spring is a Kapha season. So to explain this one, if we see that Vata season, fall and winter, cold wind, windy, dry and light. If you see that the air becomes really cold. And springtime, wet and cool, which now it is going to start in United States. And then comes the Pitta season, summertime, where you will see that the air becomes really hot, sometimes humid, sometimes becomes excessive hot also. I live in Texas, where actually I don't see the humid part of summer here. It is always dry heat. Springtime, why we call wet and cool. In this webinar, we are going to focus on the spring because this is the time period we need to make changes as per our seasonal transition. So spring, if you see that analogy is when, if you see that the sun becomes a little stronger and then all the snow starts melting slowly, slowly to go towards the summer season. So that's why if you see that still the coldness is there, but the air becomes a little bit wet, or some part of the globe might see a little bit of rain also during that time period. So fall and winter season tends to provoke vata, as I earlier said. If not regulated, can cause vata disorders like anxiety, insomnia, skin conditions. A lot of people they get the dry skin or in the form of eczema also aggravated during that time period. So how we can balance vata? by applying the things in the day-to-day life, which has the opposite properties of vata. Like instead of having the cold salad, it is always good to go for a graph for a warm soup during that time period, and maintain a regular schedule also. And one can incorporate always self abhyanga, which is a self body massage with warm oil. And sesame oil is one of the best oil to be used during this time period, especially fall and winter season when the dryness is more. So sesame oil is the best one. And try not to skip the meal, because already if the this is the vata season, so if you will miss meal, then it creates more vata in the body. And always prefer, as I said, warm food and drinks, teas and soups and stews. Those are the best to incorporate during this season. Now the spring season provoke more kapha. A lot of people, they get the seasonal allergies during that. And if you see that the body also start feeling little heavy, dull also, you don't feel like to stepping out of the house. Sometimes you feel that you want to sleep during the day also. And since the seasonal allergies gets aggravated, a lot of respiratory issues also crop up during this time period. So to overcome that, we will discuss a little later. But in nutshell, one should still enjoy hot food, good amount of exercise, cut down on sugar consumption, because the sugary substance also increases more kapha in the body. And a deep and vigorous massage. So if you want to go for a deep tissue massage, this is the right time to do that. Or even the abhyanga can be incorporated with the mardana. Means mardana is again the deep tissue massage in an Ayurvedic way. That also one can incorporate. Then comes the summer season, tends to provoke more pitta because the outside weather becomes really hot. The sun goes at peak during that time period. And that might lead to inflammatory conditions, fever, hyperacidity, or even the anger issue. Especially, I see a lot of anger issue in the pitta people. So that is a time period one can have the cold water. In Ayurveda, we normally suggest, if you see any Ayurveda lecture or if you meet any Ayurveda practitioner or physician, they will always say, drink the warm water. But here in summer time period, we say that cold water. Here, cold water means the room temperature water, not the ice cold water. In previous era, we used to keep the water in the earthen pot, and that pot itself used to create a sweet, fragrant, earthy smell and cold water. So that was the ideal water. But right now we all use a refrigerator and all, but then also the recommendation is always try to have a room temperature water. And massage with cool oil. Cool oil means here which has the cold potency, like a coconut oil, sandalwood oil, brahmi oil. Those are the oils which are really, really good to incorporate during summer season. And avoid spicy food, because spiciness leads to more pitta, and summer is the season for the pitta. And this is the season where you want to incorporate sweets in the form of porridge, pastries, one can have in a moderation. And now there is a seasonal transition. Right now, we are in the middle of the seasonal transition, harsh winters to going towards the summer season. But in between, there is a transition of spring season. So in Ayurveda, we say that there are 15 days for transition, where one should try to create a balance by adapting the diet of the coming season and leaving the diet of previous season. And it has to be done gradually. It should not be like that. Now if you see, the temperature is fluctuating, right? So in during that time period, now if mornings are cold, evenings are cold, and daytime is hot, so if during that time period, if we immediately start having the food which is more conducive for the summer season, might not be a good for your digestion. So that's the reason in Ayurveda we say that pay attention to your seasonal transitions. And diet during spring season, because I told you this is all about the spring today. So if you see that the sky becomes sometimes cloudy, sometimes rainy, also less sun, but still sun is getting strength during this time period. So this is the time period for the kapha season, where you will see the coldness and heaviness, which is a hallmark of the kapha. Kapha dosha. So the diet should be, or the lifestyle should be designed to balance this kapha dosha. And as I said, the diet should be comprised of foods and drinks with hot, dry, light qualities to counter the cool, moist, and heavy qualities of kapha. One should, this is the right time to include baked, broiled, or grilled warm food. And this is also the time where one should avoid cheese, ice cream, and yogurts. One can also add pungent spices in that. And vegetables, which are plenty during this time period, seasonal vegetables one can incorporate. And also the spices and herbs. Drinks should be made with ginger, black pepper. One can also use clove or cinnamon during this time. More emphasizes on the herbal teas, drink warm water throughout the day. That is the one. And spring, as I said earlier, it is the allergy season. So, avoiding the cold drinks and adding more spices will boost up your digestion, and that's how we can combat these allergies. See, many people live in during the allergy season. Some they get the allergies, some they never get the allergies, because whatever the goes inside your nostrils goes through your body has to be processed efficiently by the body. So that means if the allergens are bothering you, that means the digestion is the first key where we need to look into that. And digestion we can always improve by making a right choices through the diet and through the spices also. And application of oil, we in Ayurveda there is a one therapy which is known as nasium. But at any oil which you feel that you are comfortable to, almond oil, sesame oil, those are the oil where you just dip your finger and apply inside the nostril gently. That also helps you the first line of defense against those allergens. And this is the time period when one should refrain from sleeping during the daytime. The reason is if you sleep during the daytime, again, the kapha gets aggravated, and this is the season where the kapha gets into the imbalanced state if we are not being mindful. Now, as per Ayurveda, conscious eating involves eating according to your age and body constitution, eating fresh and seasonal vegetables and fruits, and eating freshly cooked and warm food also. It is very, very important to eat freshly cooked and warm food because that gives strength to your digestion, and the food digested better and it reduces the kapha and vata. And also always try to incorporate certain type of oils in that, which is in the form of just to moist that. Like if you are baking the vegetables, it's good to have little bit amount of 1 teaspoon of olive oil or the ghee into that ghee, which is a clarified butter, because it enhances the taste, improves the digestion also, and it helps in building the muscles tissue also. So in that way, adding a little bit of amount of healthy oil is always good. And stop eating food with the wrong combination. As I earlier said, that the honey, when you combine with the hot tea, is not a good combination. Or even the mixing sour fruits with milk, that is also in Ayurveda, is not considered as a mindful eating. That is also considered as a wrongful or the wrong combination. So conscious eating involve eating enough quantity considering the state of Agni and doshas, how much your digestive capacity is, and how your body process that food. Eating 2 or 3 meals a day. In Ayurveda, we say that one time or 2 time eating is really, really best. 3 times, it's okay, but you will get the health conditions. And if you are eating more than three, that means you are calling for a bad health. Eating only should happen when the previous meal is digested. And eating should be with the proper frame of mind, means your mind should be conscious and happy. And also take time to chew the food properly. In the past, I remember my grandma always used to tell me, chew the food 32 times, 34 times. And I used to think as a baby that what is the purpose of doing that? It is so boring. But now I know that as a Ayurveda practitioner, that when you chew your food, the saliva mix with the food. And saliva contains the enzymes which helps in breaking down the food so that your stomach has to work less. So that is the first part of digestion. And if you are gulping the food, like in the form of smoothies or the juices, instead of chewing your food, that also creates a bad digestion. Now, when to eat, as I said that earlier also, this is little repetition that lunch should be your main meal, dinner should be lighter and around the sunset time. How much to eat? We say that eat half of your capacity. Leave one fourth of your capacity for the liquids, digestive juices, as well as the water, and leave one fourth room for your air so that it can process the food properly. So, to make you understand, I'll give you one analogy of the blender. So when you want to blend certain food, if the food is filled up to the rim, you cannot blend that food properly. And when you empty that half and add certain amount of liquid and blend nicely, it takes few minutes to blend that food nicely. So the similar way, assume your stomach is kind of blender. It needs space to do all the peristalsis movement to digest that food efficiently. That's why we say that eat half of your capacity. And the sign of right quantity of food are you should feel satisfied. Not after eating the food, you should not feel that you are feeling very heavy, and you should be able to breathe, talk, walk easily. Your senses should be very sharp. It should not feel like that you are sleepy or you want to rest after having the food. So that means you had eaten. Overeating is that considered as a overeating. Drinking water also, ideal time to drink one glass right after waking up. That one can always use warm water because that helps in flushing out the colon also. One glass 1 hour after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, or before bedtime. And best time to drink water during the meal is when you have few sips, not the full glass, few sips during the meal. That actually helps promoting the digestion, absorption, and it creates the balance. And then there is a adding of spices and herbs for this season. So spices actually helps with the digestion. First of all, it gives the flavor to the food, which whatever you are eating. It enhances the taste and makes the food more satisfying and nurturing also. And more importantly, it stimulates digestive enzymes to improve the digestion. So that's how it helps. And that's why in Ayurveda we say that let food be my medicine, because if you are creating the food mindfully by adding the spices and herbs according to the season, it helps in improving your health. So, a few spices I would like to just touch base on that. I think I'm a little bit running over the time. Pepper, black pepper. I want to leave 15 minutes for question and answer if somebody has that. So, black pepper also improves digestion and appetite. And it is very useful when it comes to your respiratory health. That's why this is the spice which you should incorporate right now during the spring season. And pepper also increases the bioavailability of other substances when used in a conjunction with that. So that's why you might have seen that if you are incorporating curcumin or turmeric in the form of tablets or the capsules, there is always added black pepper into that because of the bioavailability. Then comes the ginger. Ginger is also, it improves the digestion and appetite also. Ginger is one of, we call it as a Vishwa Bheshaj, means it's the father of the medicine. It is highly useful in joint health, nausea, and vomiting. It is popular herb if you see that for morning sickness during the pregnancy also. And dry ginger is very, very good to incorporate during this season because that improves the digestion and helps with the allergies also. Then comes the long pepper. We call it as a pipli. That also helps with the appetite and digestion, helps with the weight loss also. and also actually helps in improving the function of liver and spleen. And when it improves the function of liver, then only it helps in the detox, and also for the weight loss. But when you use these spices, pinch for one serving should be enough, because these are the potent spices which has really a pungent taste, can create health issue also if not used in a proper way, or if you want to use as a for a therapeutic medicine, then it should be under the supervision of your Ayurveda practitioner. Coriander is also improves appetite and digestion. And one tea is very good for this season, which is known as CCFT. So that contains coriander, cumin, and fennel. So coriander is also very good to incorporate during this season. And then the cumin is also, it improves appetite and digestion. And also it is very good if their digestion like bloating is there, then also cumin one can incorporate in the diet, or can boil the cumin water in the sorry, can make a cumin water by boiling the cumin seed powder in the water for some time. That also helps in improving the digestion. Then comes the fennel. Fennel is also very good, and if you go to the any Indian restaurant, you will see that after post meal they always offer the fennel seeds, because it helps in digestion and helps in removing the gas also from the stomach. And best to take after meals, but it can be taken anytime. And fennel is also considered as one of the neurotonic herb, which works very well on the nervous system. And this is a detox tea. One can incorporate 1 or 2 cups daily during this time period, especially spring season, if somebody is going through the allergies or they have the tendency to get the allergies. So this is the recipe for this one. But according to the body type also, you can incorporate different spices out of all those 6 spices which I have told. So conclusion, choosing to eat food that is both pleasing and nourishing, pleasing to the mind, nourishing to the body, and using all the senses while eating. That is very important. And that is only considered as a conscious eating when we want to create a wellness or when we want to create a good health. And being aware of the reflecting on effects caused by unmindful eating, which I earlier described, emotional eating, and the meditation practice, breathing and relaxation. So, this is all about today. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll open the chat box. And if you want to open the mics and all the ask the question also, feel free to do that. Please like our Facebook page, Ayurroots, because every month, a couple of meetings I do, and all the information goes on our social media. Thank you so much. And if somebody has any question, I can take the questions now. So, good question, Jamina, right? So, how you can know that you are eating half of your capacity? So, I would say that when you are suppose taking one bowl of rice or veggies, and your mind says, okay, grab some more, that is the time period when you should stop. So, that's how you can train your mind to eat half of your capacity. Cam, your question is, can you recommend a tridoshic detox tea? Definitely. The CCFT is a tridoshic, which helps in balancing all the doshas. But if you want something specific, then please do write me. I'll provide more recipe. Purnima, your question is, what is maximum quantity of cumin one should take for cumin, fenugreek, carom seeds, etc. to be taken per day? So I would say mix together, not more than 1 teaspoon. That should be enough. If you are taking standalone single spice, then it is a different. Then fennel, for example, you can take half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. But otherwise, if you are mixing together, then 1 teaspoon should be enough. Rajni, your question is ghee okay for cooking? Ghee is one of the best you can use for the cooking because it lubricates your colon, and ghee has a natural butyric acid. Actually, your colon bacteria produces the butyric acid depending upon how you are feeding them and how your stress level are. So ghee provides natural butyric acid, which is helpful for the good bacteria in the colon. How do Indians have such healthy teeth through taking sugar daily multiple times in chai? uh, Okay. There is a certain practices which we do. Most of the Indians, I am sure that we incorporate certain herbs for cleaning the teeth also, like trifla and the neem also. I can proudly say my dad is almost 78 years old, and no cavities, original teeth, because he used neem as a part of his daily routine to cleanse the teeth. So that's how I can say that. Cam, your question is which pranayam best for this season and mudras you can recommend? Oh yeah, the pranayam best for this season is Anulom Vilom is the best one. You can start with that, Cam. And the mudras for the digestion, Apan Mudra, this is the Apan Mudra. This is one of the best for the digestion at this time. One can practice this one according to this season. Can you drink hot milk during the season? Yes, Cam, you can drink, but incorporate little bit of turmeric and all those spices which I have discussed, especially the trikatu part, ginger, long pepper, and black pepper. Pinch, pinch, you can add in the milk, boil the milk, and then you can drink. Jamina, your question is when is good time to do panchkarmas? We are transition. This is the right time, Jamina. If you would like to schedule an appointment, I'll be happy to take that for the panchkarma, which is the ultimate detox program through Ayurveda. This is the exact right time for the panchkarma. Heidi, your question is how to reach a balanced diet for kapha vata aggravation. So for that, Haiti, I will say that if the kapha is in aggravation state, then first look into the diet which is not kapha provoking. But if you need further help, then I would definitely love to have you. You can give me a call and we can set up a time for the proper plan. Mariam, your question is for how long can we drink the CCFT? You can drink on daily basis. But when it comes to the summertime, then I would suggest maybe only the coriander tea is more useful during that because cumin and fennel both are heat producing in nature. Z-Man, welcome. I didn't see you. You are joining. Which best pranayam best for hypothyroid and for hyperthyroid function? I will take this question off record. Later we can discuss. Sitara, what are the best Ayurvedic dietary recommendations to be taken during menstruation? So, include more garlic and ginger because that helps in cleansing the uterus. Also, you can add more cumin during that time. Cumin tea or cumin infused water you can take during that time. Yes, I'll be sharing this recording because, yeah, good, great, Cam. And I'll put it in the YouTube. It is already going live on the YouTube right now. Thank you so much, whoever has joined. Please follow us on our Facebook page. I would love to see you guys there. And if you have any, yes, I do offer online virtual consultations and in-person consultations also. And website is www.ayurroots.com. If you want to have a more knowledge, you can just go there or give us a call at 214-801-1238 or just write an email to info@ayurroots.com. Once again, it is AYURROOTS.com. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste. Purnima, this is a specific question. I would love to talk to you, but not at this platform. Just give us a call. Thank you so much.